Okay, we're talking about this Shabbat is called Shabbat Nachamu. Nachamu means comfort. And comes from the Haftorah, which is the 40th chapter of Isaiah, where he is comforting the Jewish people. And it doesn't say over there, be comforted, Jews. It says, be comforted, be comforted. Nachamu, nachamu. So the Rebbe is saying that what's going to really comfort the Jews is going to be the third temple and the gathering of all the Jews together, which will be brought about by the revelation of the creator of the universe and the creation, that the whole world will feel something like what the Jews felt when they went to the temple, that they felt that there's a creator and he's creating them, and that the Torah is his will and his wisdom, and that they can repay God for all that he's giving us. The tremendous happiness. Tremendous happiness. Says the Rebbe, it's not tremendous happiness, it's infinite happiness. Tremendous means it's twice as big as it was before, 10 times as big. It says the happiness is going to be infinitely greater. What does that mean? Does that mean anything? Infinitely. It's like you give a person a gift. You have won the grand prize. What is it? An infinite amount of money. What does that mean? Infinity. It's all yours. What do you mean infinite amount of money? The whole world belongs to me? No, not just the world. You ever see the moon? Yeah. Oh, it's yours. The moon belongs to me. Not just the moon. The moon with the sun, with all the galaxies, with all the amoebas. Everything belongs to you. It's all yours. You can do what you want. What does this mean? It doesn't mean. And that's only physical. That's only physical things. Right? How much can a person, how many steaks can you eat? You know, how many Lamborghinis can you drive? You know, what's the point? Says that's because you're thinking in physical terms, like we just finished learning, below the division, physical. There's all the spiritual pleasures. Oh, yep, going to heaven. That's also nothing. Spiritual pleasures. Spiritual pleasures are like 1,000,000 times more than the physical pleasures. I'm talking about infinite pleasure. What does that mean? What does it mean? It says we'll only know when it happens, but it's going to happen. We have absolutely no idea how precious every human being is to God. Absolutely no idea. And how precious every instant of creation is to God. What a big miracle it is. Absolutely no idea. And it says that's what it means. This Shabbos will be Nachamu. It'll be a doubled and redoubled and redoubled and redoubled comforting and believable, because that's the only thing that's going to comfort us for all of the terrible tragedies that the Jews have incurred in the world and mankind in general have incurred. Begula mitit vashlema. Nitvosef Elohim Yuchad will be a special in this year that Shabbat Nechamu comes after the preparation of Erev Shabbat, that it was on the 15th day of Av. Okay, by us, it doesn't work exactly that way. And by us, I think the 15th day of Av comes after this next Shabbos. Comes after this next Shabbos, right? Sure, of course. This Shabbat is the 13th, and 15th day of Av is Monday, Yom Sheni. What happened on the 15th day of Av? Okay, so we're going to have to juggle this around a little bit, because the year the Rebbe spoke, the Shabbat came after the 15th day of Av. What's so amazing about the 15th day of Av? So it says in the Mishnah, and the Rebbe talked about this before, it says in the Mishnah that there were no happier days to the Jews than Yom Kippur and the 15th day of Av. Yom Kippur, because every Jew got forgiven of all their sins. That's pretty happy. But the 15th day of Av, it says that's the day that there were marriages that were arranged, and there were other good things that happened. But essentially what happened is that the moon is full, and the Jewish people are compared to the moon, and the lowest point of the year is the 9th day of Av, and the 15th shows that even after the 9th day of Av, and that the moon will be full, even more. It shows that because of the 9th day of Av, as therefore the moon will be full. Therefore, it's the happiest day. It's even happier than all of the other holidays, than Simchas Torah or whatever. Happy. Okay, so let's connect it. So okay, here the Rebbe, 15th day of Av came before Shabbat, and by us it comes after Shabbat. But let's take the message that he's giving over here. Let's connect it. First of all, what is the 15th day of Av to the future redemption? The 15th day of the month, that's when the moon is full. Sharomas, this hints at a wholesomeness of the Jewish people. That the Jewish people they count according to the moon, and they are similar to the moon. Vatidin litchadesh, and the Jewish people are going to be renewed like the moon. Begeula mitita shlema, and a complete total redemption by means of the David Malchut Moshiach, by King David, the Messiah, Sheshayach leLavana, that he's relevant to the moon. Why? Because David is a king. That's the lowest of the 10 sfirot, and the moon is also called Malchut, the lowest of the 10 sfirot. The Chamisha Asr, the 15th day of the month of Av, which that's the worst month of the year, so to speak. Menachem, but the custom is to call the month not just of Chodesh Av, but Menachem Av. Menachem means to be comforted. The comfort comes before the tragedy. Shleimot HaChodesh, this is the wholesomeness of the month, where we see the reason for the tragedy, the wholesomeness of the month of Av, that it's called on the name of the Mashiach. What's the name of the Mashiach? Mashiach is called Menachem. Says the Mashiach is the name of the Mashiach is Menachem Shemo. Where does it say that? Menachem Shemo. Let's have a look. In the Gemara Sanhedrin, there's a whole thing about Mashiach over there. And all of a sudden, there it says also Mashiach can come from the dead. And if he comes from the dead, he's going to be like somebody like Daniel, or he'll be Daniel. In Sanhedrin, anyways, it says that the name of the Mashiach is going to be Menachem. Menachem. And the birth of the Mashiach, it says, was back then, when the temple was destroyed in the month of Av. B'Tisha B'Av. When the moon is full on the 15th day of Av, then we know for sure that is the date the Mashiach had been born before. Chodesh Shemazlo Aryeh, the month of Av has the Mazal. What's the zodiac? The sign of the zodiac is Aryeh. What are they called? Leo, a lion. Shabo Yavo Aryeh, that the lion will come. That's God, is the lion, and he'll build the Ariel. He'll build the third temple called Ariel. The temple is called Ariel because it was wide a little bit in the front and narrow in the back like a lion. It was wide in the Ubafran, and especially when Friday falls on the 15th day of Av. Okay, by us it wasn't that way, right? But nevertheless, what happened on Friday? That was the day that man was created. Man was created on the 6th day of creation, so that he will come into the world finished world. That it hints at the 6,000th year that everything is prepared for the meal of Leviathan. Remember we talked about the Leviathan and the wild ox, the Shura Bar, the pure ox, the wild ox, the day which is pure. Okay, by us it was 2 days after, but it's the same thing. Here it says that 2 days after Shabbat is connected to Shabbat. So the 15th day of Av is connected to Shabbat. Yesh Lomar, we can say that in all these whole topics we're talking about, what's the Rebbe doing all this for? What's he doing all this for? He wants that we should realize that Mashiach is not just an idea, that Mashiach is a necessity. And Mashiach is it's an integral part of reality. Mashiach. It's not just this idea that's stuffed in there, the religious Jews and, other religions also, they sort of stole this idea. And it's not an idea. It's not an idea. It's a human being, a person, just like Moses, just like King David. And together with this person, there's going to be massive changes in the world. Massive. Let's just take a small example. I mean, I hope nobody gets offended by this example. Here we have in America the elections, right, with Trump. Now, if Trump does get elected, let's say, and he does all the things that he says he's going to do, which his opposition is very afraid that he's going to do. So we have one man that's going to make massive, massive changes in America, maybe in the whole world, right? One man. I'm not going to say he's doing these things, he's going to do these things, but let's just say, right? So the economy suddenly gets better, and the education is different, and the whole legal system is better. There's more honesty, and there's more friendship, and there's more peace in the world, and there's more this and that, right? Will he do it? Can he do it? I don't know. But ideally, let's say one person, the point is, one person can make massive changes in the whole entire world. And that's what Mashiach is. Everybody knows, it says in the Torah, that the Jews are the chosen people. Everyone knows it. It's written in the Torah, right? That Hashem chose us, that God chose us. I think it's in this week's Torah portion. That we're the chosen people. God chose us. Right? What did he chose us? Chose the Jewish people for? What did he choose the Jewish people for? To tell everybody that there's God, that God is creating everyone, that God loves everybody. Right? The Jews. Mashiach is going to activate all the Jews. Nowadays, especially, this idea of being a Jew is very in the forefront of every Jew's mind. It's not like a casual thing anymore that I'm a Jew. And if it is, the non-Jews, the anti-Semites, remind us. They remind us. And it's like very, very difficult to deny being a Jew anymore. Once that was like, that was the thing. You just denied you're a Jew. All of a sudden now everybody hates you and you're proud you're a Jew. I'm not running away from anybody. One of the reasons why, I think, is because now people hate the Jews, blatantly, obviously, for no reason whatsoever. Once they used to hate the Jews because we're different, because we're this or that. All of a sudden, no. Why did they hate the Jews? Because the Hamas were doing bad to the Hamas. What are you talking about? These guys they never did anything except for murder. They never did anything except for murder people. Hamas, they never did anything good. And the whole world likes them. So if you want to like them, like, no, but they hate the Jews. But so suddenly this thing of being a Jew is important. Mashiach is going to show why it's important. It's going to show that the Jewish people, and that's what it means, the 15th day of the month. The 15th day of the month means the moon is full. It'll be revealed the infiniteness of God. That's the true redemption that's going to be in the future. Everything will be infinitely meaningful. That's what it means, that the moon will be full on the 15th day of the month, that the completion of the moon is that by means of this will be accepted the light of the sun in its completion. In this case, the sun, we're talking about God, the sun in the sky. Until the Tachlit Hashlem is the ultimate completion of these two things, the sun and the moon. Together, the moon is the receiver and the sun is the giver. And it says that the Or Levan, it says in the future that the light of the moon will be like the light of the sun. In other words, this physical world, which is the receiver, will reflect godliness just like God himself. We'll see that the essence of God is reflected only in this world, only in this physical world, much higher than all the heavens. Even more, it says that what is heaven? It says in the Tanya, what is going to heaven? Going to heaven is a comprehension, intellectual mind. There's no body. It's just understanding God, greater ideas of, wow, that's God, that's God. It says in the future, the revelation of godliness in this world will be beyond the comprehension, totally beyond understanding. Understanding will be like a cheap nothing. We just finished learning that in Likkutei Torah. It's higher than the two letters of God, that God created the heavens and the earth. That's what it means that the moon will be full. So it says, and that's the idea of the 15th day of the month of Av, that the Mashiach was born And he was born after the destruction. That's what it says. The destruction on the 15th day. It says that a non-Jew, a Gentile, was plowing with his ox or something. His ox mooed, and he said, the temple of the Jews has been destroyed. And it mooed again, and he said, the Mashiach of the Jews has been born. So after the destruction, it says the Mashiach was born. Like it says in the words of the rabbis, Kishi Hagata, when they're mooed, that's it, that's the best word. His ox, at once he knew that the temple had been destroyed. When the ox mooed a second time, then he knew that the Mashiach had been born of the Jewish people. The Lord, and not only that, Elashagam la'achrei shenase gadol. I mean, listen, of course, a person will ask a question once again. The temple was destroyed almost 2,000 years ago. This is the second temple. It was destroyed 2,000 years ago. So what does it mean Mashiach was born? Mashiach was born. I mean, he's 2,000 years old. What's it mean? So what it means is that Mashiach is going to bring about the raising of the dead. And we have no idea what this means, the raising of the dead. And there's a lot of places where it says that the Jewish body really never dies. It comes from the body of Adam before he sinned, and that body never died. It couldn't die. It never didn't die, but we just can't see it. When Mashiach is born means that the being of Mashiach is there in every generation. Every generation. Now, just to get this thing straight, Mashiach has to be a Jew, and he has to be the Jew that does all the Torah and does all the commandments, and he tries to bring all the Jews closer to Torah and commandments, and he has the ability to do it. That's his whole thing, to bring all the Jews back to true Torah, Talmud, Judaism. That's Mashiach. And in every generation, there's one person that can do this. That's what it means. Mashiach was born then. Kolel, including and especially Gedula, Godlus Ruchnius, especially spiritual. It says Mashchu Mala, Mishichma B'Maila, Gavoa Mikol Am. It says that from his shoulders and above, this is talking about King Saul. It says from his shoulders and above, he was higher than all the other people. What does it mean higher? That his intellect was higher than everybody else's. It says his emotions were in the same place as everybody else's intellect was. All the details of a king. How much more so the King Mashiach? He's going to be a king. He's going to be a teacher. It says all this came from the destruction of the temple. Nimshach hachorban v'galut, a long time. We'll see that it was worthwhile that the exile lasted for so long. Va'ad lameshach zaman hachi aroch. In fact, the longest time. That the whole intention is this: that there should be a total redemption, mitzada elyon or mitzada tachton. That not only God will be revealed in a higher way, but also the world will reveal godliness from below to above and from above to below. All of them, both of them together. And now we're saying everything is already prepared. The meal is prepared. That's the whole idea of Shabbat. The Rebbe said this on Shabbat. In all of its details, everything is already prepared. The Jewish people are prepared. The world is prepared. Like it's stressed also in the double of good, Yom HaShishi. Then Shabbat, God said it was good twice. Yesh lo Osif, we can also add on that this whole idea of something unlimited is stressed also in the service of man, beginning from the 15th day of Av. 15th day of Av. From here and onward, it gets better and better. The 15th day of Av and onward, it says that the nights, Lailos ala Yomim, Lasok Batorah, that now the nights become longer. We're getting more and more winter. Batorah, Yosef Chayim al Chayav, it says it adds life to your life. Torah. Now the summer days are ending. We're coming into the days are long in the summer, and now we see that the night comes in earlier and earlier, right? Lighting candles is earlier and earlier. The nights are longer. What's the thing of night? Night is the perfect time to learn Torah. Night is things are quieter. It says in the daytime, that's the time to go to work. People work. It used to be that there was no electrical lighting, so people worked in the day, and in the nighttime you came home and the people weren't wandering around in the streets. You came home and you learned. Well, the fact of the matter is that it wasn't just because of the electricity. Nighttime is a quieter time. It's a good time to learn. And what did we say before? Learning the Torah, we said in Lukuti Torah, that's Bechal Meodecha. Me'od Shalach. It says, in all of your infiniteness. That's connected to the infinity of God. Learning the Torah. And this is a preparation to adding on the Torah in a complete way, in a way that's unlimited. Like it says, Torah Chadasha Me'itei Teitze. When you read one word of the Torah, you'll feel the godliness. Every word will be infinite. And by means of this will be a completion of what it says, Yosef Chaim al Chayav, that it will add life to his life. You add life, namely the Torah, to your life. That's what it says in this week's Torah. In this week's Torah portion is Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, and you will love God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and all of your might. That's in this week's Torah portion we're reading. It says the idea of learning, it's not by accident, therefore, that this falls after Tisha B'Av, right before Tu B'Av, because it's talking about this Me'odecha. Me'odecha is referring to the pure godliness that's going to be in every word of the Torah. It's going to be called a new Torah from God. The Torah will be renewed like it was when we got it at Mount Sinai. And by means of this, there will be a completion of learning Torah in a way which is above any limitation. Eternal life. This is especially stressed in this Shabbat. Shabbat Nachamu, which comes the day after Tu B'Av, 15th day of Av. In our case, it comes 2 days before Tu B'Av. And in the year of Tafshin Nun Aleph, by us it's Tafshin Pei Dalid. So Nun Aleph, the Rebbe said, it means Niflaot Ereno. And our year is Pei Dalid, which is almost the same thing. Pei is Pilaot. And Dalid, you can make whatever you want to, but Dalid means Dgulot, very, very high. Very, very amazing miracles. Dover Kama Pamim, it is said many times. And I think that that's what's going on now. I mean, this is just my conjecture, right? Iran said that they're going to make war, they're going to shoot missiles, they've got them all prepared. And there's doubts if maybe they have atomic missiles that they got from Pakistan, and this worried. And I know that you know when they first said that, a lot of Jews in Kfar Chabad, it made absolutely no difference. I'm telling you, I'm very proud of this. There was no difference whatsoever, right? No difference whatsoever. No one was afraid of this, but the streets were pretty empty. The fact is, they were pretty empty, and they're this. But now everything is coming back to what's going on. I thought he was going to attack any day. He's going to attack. And usually, I mean, he's a bloodthirsty guy. He was going to attack. So something is happening over there in Iran that for some reason, you know, he said he was going to do something and he didn't do it. So it makes him look bad. Maybe it's a trick. Could be. I mean, I'm just, like I said, this is my conjecture. But I think there's brewing over there in the world. Big miracles are happening. Big, amazing miracles are happening in the world. Maybe people are starting to see through the Hamas and the United Nations and the WHO and all these things. Maybe they're starting to see that these things are just big, empty bluffs. Maybe. I don't know. But something is happening. Something is happening. I know I go every Friday and put tefillin on people in a nearby public place, and everything has changed. You ask people to put on tefillin, it's totally different than it was even a year ago. Even a year ago. 1/3 of the people that don't put on, there's 3 reasons for not putting on. One reason is that people don't want to put on. I'm not going to put on, but they say I'm not going to they say, thank you very much. I don't want to, thank you. It used to be people would say, get away from me, right? That's one thing. Another type of people that don't put on are Jews that totally look non-religious. They don't have tzitzis, they don't have a kippah, they don't have a beard, they have all sorts of tattoos on there. And you ask them, oh no, I put on every day. I put tefillin on every day. Thank you very much. And then there's the third type of people that they put on tefillin, religious people that put on tefillin. I ask them because it's near to a hospital and it's very busy and people forget sometimes. And a lot of times religious people put on tefillin. But there's people that do put on tefillin that don't know how. They never put on. And they put on tefillin, want to put on tefillin? Okay, they put on tefillin. Regular, normal human beings, some of them with, suits on or this. Oh, yeah, put on tefillin. But I don't know how to do it. Well, you show me how to do it. So we see that things are changing. The hearts of the Jews are starting to change. They want to be Jewish. And they realize being Jewish means being connected to God. And God is not a religious figure. God is just like pure life, pure good. I mean, I can't explain it myself. I can't explain it. But it's obvious it's an amazing change that's occurring by the Jewish people. Maybe it's just a change according to here, nearby Kfar Chabad. But I hear it from all over. And especially in the case of the course of the year, we see many, many miracles that are occurring. When the Rebbe is talking about over here, this was the Iron Curtain fell and Saddam Hussein shot all these missiles and they didn't damage anything. They didn't kill anybody. Every one of these miracles is a Pella. That's this year, Tafshin Pei Daled, Pella. It's a Pella. And it's not only just a miracle, but it's a miracle even regarding the miracles that were before. And this includes the amazing miracles that are happening now. And that is all the shluchim are all getting together, and they made a shluchim convention. Shluchim are the emissaries of the Rebbe. They made a shluchim convention in Russia. They made a shluchim convention in Russia. Sheet kansu v'kama. They gathered in many, many places, and they gathered from many places. And where did they make this? They came to the city of Lubavitcher. Now, in the time of the communists, any religious Jew was in problems. Religious Jews, they rarely, if ever, had a beard on and a kippah. Rarely such a thing. Maybe rabbis could. Maybe big rabbis, official rabbi, you could walk on the streets, but a normal Jew never. And here they got all these people that are coming, which, okay, they're called rabbis, but the fact is they're just normal Jews. They're religious Jews. And they met together in the city Lubavitch, and they went to the graves. They prayed to the graves of the Rebbes of Chabad. Right? They went to Nyezhin and they went to Lubavitch. They went to Lubavitch, and they went to all the cities, the Hadich, the cities where the Rebbes are buried, and they prayed at the graves. Also, they prayed at the grave of the father of the Rebbe. Father of the Rebbe, that the day of his passing away is going to be the 20th day of Av, which is next week, next Shabbos, 20th day of Av. And all the shluchim, they all got together in order to talk with one another and to make decisions about how to improve the world and to improve Judaism and to improve how to spread out Judaism, how to spread out the Torah, how to spread out the teachings of Hasidut in all of the countries of the world. And where did they decide it? In Russia. They went to Russia. Russia was a place where a Jew talked about Judaism, they would put him in jail. May it be God's will that this convention that they're making in Russia, this is in 1991, right? This is 33 years ago, will have tremendous success in a way that it will be doubled and redoubled, more, adding more and more until the Hosafa Shalomaylam Abdid of Agbala, until like what we're talking about this whole time, Moshiach, which will bring about an addition of good, which will be unmeasurable, infinite good. And here we see, says the Rebbe, good. Saddam Hussein shot 39 amazingly powerful missiles, and they knocked down buildings, and no one was hurt in Israel. I was here, I remember. No one was hurt. And all of a sudden, Gorbachev said, no more Iron Curtain, no more communism. That's it. We're going to have elections. We're going to have this, right? Big miracle. Says the Rebbe, maybe the biggest miracle of all is that Chabad accepted on themselves to prepare the world for Moshiach. And they made a convention where in Russia, where that was like the only place in the world that you couldn't gather together to make a. I think if they would have asked back then to make a convention in Iran, they might have allowed them to do it. In Russia, no way. Sha'oto Medina, that country that fought against everything that the previous Rebbe did, and they even put him in jail. They wanted to kill him. And also Benogea Lapulas of the Balilula and Esrim Ba'av, and also what the father of the Rebbe, the father, the Rebbe's father, his name was Levi Yitzchak, and he was a Rav of a huge area in Russia. And he spread Judaism, and this was under the communist regime. He spread Judaism, and eventually they imprisoned him. And factually, he died in prison. They released him, but they released him a very, very sick man. He was very, very sick. And I think his back was broken, and he was very, very ill when they released him. And it was him, his back was broken? I don't remember. Anyway, he was tremendously ill when they released him. And he passed away, shortly after he was released on the 20th day of Av. Why? Because they spread out Judaism. They spread out Chassidut. And now what is it? The country of Russia is actually hosting them and honoring them, the pupils of the Rebbe that they tried to kill. The people who went in their way, in the path of the Rebbe, now they're getting honor from Russia. Amazing. And these miracles, they arouse that immediately we should see the biggest miracle of all, Geula Mitit Vashlema, a total redemption. The days of going out of Egypt, I will show you miracles. There will be miracles even greater than going out of Egypt. And to the degree we're going out of Egypt won't be considered to be miracles anymore. Right? The miracles that we'll see in the future will make the miracles that happened when we left Egypt that they won't be so amazing. We'll remember them because it's a commandment to remember them. And especially in this year when we see Niflaot Areno, this year where it says that I will show you miracles itself, we're coming closer and closer to the year which comes after the month of the 10th month of the year, which that's month of Av, and Chodesh Tishrei, and soon it'll be the month of Rosh Hashanah, the 11th month of the year. Chodesh Chodesh, 1 second, whatever this is. Oh, I see. If you count from Tishrei, then this month is the 10th month from Tishrei. Yeah, from last Tishrei. And you come to the 11th month from Tishrei, that's Chorev, the Eser, 1 second. I'm sorry. I must have skipped this. And this year, 1 minute, we're found, after the 10th month, I see, that's the month of Tammuz, and we're going now into the month of which that's the 11th month. That's the month of Av, the 11th month from last Tishrei. That's attached to 11th from Chorev, and that's above limitation of the order of creation. 11. The creation is 10. And also if you count the months from Nisan, which that's the way it's counted in the Torah, that if we would have merited, the redemption would have been in the month of Nisan. The Jewish people would have gotten out of Egypt, received the Torah, and gone immediately into the land of Israel. How much Al-Kal Panim in the month of Iyar? That's Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. That's the month after Nisan. שמבכה על בניה במענה לננחם. This is the month of, the month of Iyar. The month of Iyar is the month right after the month of Nisan, when we should have been redeemed back then. The month of Iyar comes after that. That's the first letters of Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and Rachel. Rachel is his cries for her children and refuses to be comforted until Hashem promised Rachel, Shavu Banim L'Gevulam, that all of your children will come back to Israel. Gevulam. How much more so in the month of Tammuz, the month of redemption, we are already found in the 5th month, and that's after Nisan. In the 5th month of the Paro, as Priyo Vizgalim Mimenu Kolan Nahorim, that's the month of Av. The month of Av is the 5th month. That's the Mazel is Leo. Okay, so what's the Rebbe trying to do? To show that however you count the months, we're getting, if you count from Tishrei, or if you count from Nisan, that the signs are that everything is supposed to be redeemed in another moment. Mashiach is supposed to come and change the whole world. Says, so it's something like, Jews were pretty much, not that important, in the whole world. All of a sudden, Jews became tremendously important to the whole world. Well, by us, it's Mashiach. Mashiach was not so important. All of a sudden, Mashiach is becoming very, very important. That's what the Rebbe wants, by all of the Jews. And that should be the main topic of our life. And the Mashiach will come in this month, the month that we're being comforted, will be doubled and redoubled comfort. It says these are the 7 weeks, which are 7 weeks of comfort. The second half of this month, that in it, which is going to be after Tu B'Av, and that will bring us closer now to the next month, which is the month of Elul. That's the last month of the year. Niflot Ayano, that's the last month of this month of Palaot. Our year is Pei Daled of Palaot Degulot. Okay, in any case, what's the Rebbe want to say? Get ready for big miracles. Miracles are going to be the rule, not the exception. Then certainly, says the Rebbe, according to the months, according to the date, according to the occasion that's happening now, Tu B'Av, Tisha B'Av, the destruction of the temple, the birth of the Mashiach, the fact that we're finishing the 5th month of the year, all this is bringing, we should think about the Gula Miti Tashlema, the total fruit and complete redemption of Mashiach. Like it says, in the days of going out of Egypt, I will show you miracles. Actually, immediately, in this Shabbat itself, or on Tu B'Av, because the Rebbe is speaking on that Shabbat. This is stressed that we should feel the infiniteness of the future redemption immediately now. And the Rebbe says, what about what to do actually? That we're going to learn tomorrow.